So when Bruce Wayne, Batman, decides to run Harvey Dent as the new district attorney, Harvey Dent decides he will do it. But he does it in a disquieting way. He says, this city needs a Caesar. Needs someone who's going to come in and clean it up regardless of the law. Now I ask you guys, most of you are Americans, what happened to our country after 9/11? What did we all feel when we saw those planes go into those towers? We got to get those guys. No matter what it takes, no matter what laws we've got to break, we got to get those guys. Now, I voted for President Obama twice, but President Obama sends missiles to kill babies in the Middle East every week. Why do we put up with that? If I could talk to him directly, what would he say to me? He'd say, Peter, I got to do this. Yeah, I know we're killing innocent people, but you want to be safe, don't you? You don't want to know what we have to do to keep you safe, but we got to break the law. Guys, this is why The Dark Knight is a brilliant story, because that's exactly what happens in this story. Harvey Dent decides the evil is so bad in the city that he's got to break the law to do it. So when he becomes powerful, as Batman's put him up, here's what the villain does. The villain is so powerful that he can walk into a group of gangsters meeting and using a pin kill one of their bodyguards and get away with it. And now the villain's even more powerful. During a ceremony, he has top public officials killed. And Harvey Dent gets so angry at that he pulls one of the people aside, one of the villain's cohorts, and tortures him to get information. And when Batman shows up and says, you can't do it this way, Harvey, you've got to obey the law, you're part of the law, Harvey says, but he's evil. And Batman says, but he doesn't know anything. You're torturing him for no reason. He can't tell you what you want to know. So we already know, as we get to the end of the first act, that Harvey Dent is unbalanced. That even though he's working for good, his bravery has a dangerous side to it. And now here's where the villain really deranges Harvey Dent. He kidnaps Harvey Dent's fiancée, Rachel, and he arranges for Harvey Dent to hear her being tortured and killed with gasoline. Now, what would you do if your fiancée was raped or murdered or killed while you watched? How would you feel? Would you be able to say, let's let the law take care of that? I don't think I could. So Chris Nolan's brilliance is to show that Harvey Dent is deranged by this horrible evil. And Harvey Dent himself is burned in the same accident, burned badly, but he now turns evil because he is so angry, he begins to kill innocent people. And as he kills innocent people, he becomes more and more out of control until he finally kidnaps the commissioner of police and the family and is going to shoot the child in front of the commissioner. Now here's where the theme of our movie is really important. Remember, I talk about theme a lot in University of Story. What's the theme of this movie? And what's the BMOC? The theme of this movie is this, and it's classic, and it's used in Platoon, it's used in many war movies, it's used over and over again. It's used in a story I'm working on right now that we've created. Be careful when you fight evil that you do not become evil yourself. That's the theme you would say to President Bush, to President Obama, to the American people today. Because as a Hollywood liberal, I would say we have become evil in some ways. We're creating evil. That's the theme of Syriana. That's the theme of many social problem dramas. And it's the theme here of this great action movie. Be careful when you fight evil that you do not become evil yourself. Batman is forced to rescue the commissioner's family from Harvey Dent. And as he does so, he must kill the person that he brought in to bring justice and law to the city. And in the final, great sophisticated ending of this dark hero, anti-hero story, Batman says to the commissioner, the people can never know that Harvey Dent became deranged. I will become the sacrificial goat. They can blame me because the people are not strong enough to know the truth about how we fight evil. This is then exactly what President Obama would tell me. Peter, you don't want to see those pictures of those dead babies. In fact, you can't. Go on Google and see if you can see them. You won't. Because we must be protected, our leaders say, by the very tactics that we're used to keep us safe today. This is why a great action movie can also be a great philosophical movie. And Dark Knight epitomizes this third type of action hero, the anti-hero. It's a brilliant story. And it's a brilliant story because it takes all the great tools of action and puts it in service of a great philosophical idea, which Chris Nolan always does.